Now that you've completed your slicing investigation, I'm going to dive in and talk about it a little bit more completely. So this is the first type. So if you don't have this added into your notes, but if you have the string name, square bracket, and then just a colon in between, what this one will do is, regardless of how long the string is, it will just print the entire string, or it will save the entire string. So it's just kind of a repetitive way to get the string, the full string that you want. Where this starts to get a little more interesting is when we have two numbers or one number and a colon. So this one basically gets a substring of a string. So I'm going to pull up a new program over here so you can see this in action. File, save as, Unit 5, Lesson 2. We're going to do some slicing here. So here we'll do Unit 5, Lesson 2, string slicing, and we're going to experiment with cutting apart a string. Okay, so here we have string 1. I can see is I love computing, exclamation point. Okay, so we already talked about the first one here. So we said if we do string 1 with square brackets and we put a colon inside. Now, if we run this as is, this isn't actually going to do anything. It's just going to run. So if we want this to print to the screen, we have to save it somewhere. So we'll do, we'll just do only colon. I'm going to use some weird variable names here. And then we'll print to the screen only colon, and we'll do only colon printed to the screen. So that's the first one that we saw. This one will print the entire string. So notice that if I want to save this value anywhere, this first line saves the slice inside another variable. So once you slice it, remember you have to save it somewhere. Your computer is not going to understand what to do with it. So I sliced it and I saved it. Now we're going to do we'll do two numbers and colon. So this is this next example that we're looking at. So this is going to be string 1, and inside of here, I put 2 colon 10. And then if I print that to the screen, I'm going to do 2 numbers and a colon. And we'll print 2 numbers and colon to the screen. So if we do this, there we go. You'll notice here it does LoveCom, which is a little confusing and we're not 100% sure what's going on, but let's take a look at our original string. So here, if we look, the L starts at index 0, 1, 2. So L is at index 2. So what this does if we do number colon is it starts on number 2. So notice it starts at that starting index. That's where the substring starts. So that first number before the colon is your starting value. The colon tells it then to slice. And the 10, if we look here at our slicing, so this was index 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the M. So it doesn't quite go to 10. So here what this does is it starts at 2 and it goes all the way up to the number before this last number. So it's going to do indices 2 through 9. So notice it's 1 less than our ending value. It goes 2 through 9. So what this really does is it saves indices 2 to 9. Just kind of keeping that in mind. So that's the second type, when we have number colon number. This third type, when we have number colon, we're going to take string 1 and we're going to do 2 colon, and then we'll print that. So number colon will print to the screen. What you'll hear, oh, hold on a second. Typed that in with an accidental space. There we go. And what you'll notice now is that this runs, it still starts at 2, That 2 is still your starting value, but then it runs to the very, very end. So we start here at index 2, and then we run all the way to the end. So if we don't put an ending location, it's going to run all the way till the end of that string. So this slices starting at 2 and runs to the end. That's the third type of slicing that we can do. And then our fourth type of slicing is where we have colon number. And so this one, I'm going to use that same string. I'm going to put a colon followed by, and I'm going to print colon number to the screen. So here, if I run this, what you'll see is that it starts at 0 and it runs all the way through. Remember that the M is 9. So what this fourth type does is it prints a substring. There's no starting number, so it automatically starts at the beginning, and it runs until 9, which is 1 before the ending number. So this prints the string up until index 9, and then it stops. Those are the 4 different types of slicing that we have and that you need to be aware of. So on this last slide, it says use the string below to identify the substring represented. So if you look here, this is where you really have to know your types. String 1 with just the colon inside of its brackets would do help. I'm stuck. It would print the entire string. However, this one here with 2 numbers, the 4 is the starting index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts at comma and it prints 5, 6, 7, and stops. So it's not going to print index 8. So that's all it's going to look like is comma, space, I, and then that quotation afterwards. Then from here, this next one starts at 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is P. It prints 4, the comma, 5, the space, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it stops before it hits 11. It doesn't reach index 11. So it prints indices 3 through 10. Here, it says colon 7. This means print all the way up until 1 before 7, which is 6. So it's going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it stops. So it stops 1 before its ending number. And string where it says 2 colon, it's going to start at 2. So we're going to undo that there. We're going to start at 2. So H is 0, E is 1, and then it starts at the L, and it prints the rest of that statement. So that's just some practice with slicing. You need to know the difference between the 4 types, the colon, the beginning, and then 1 after the end. Then this is beginning to 1 before 7 and index 2 all the way to the end. So not only do you have to know your indexing now you have to know how your slicing works.